This video contains spoilers for Danganronpa 1.
Danganronpa.
Celeste has been a gambler since she was at least 12, and that's actually very disturbing. Not only that, but she's been encouraged to gamble, especially given how Hope's Peak it encourages people to be the best at what they do, and it doesn't just stop at what's legal or what's appropriate for kids. It can refer to anything, and that is so damaging, and it's awful that there's something actually encouraging kids to be the best at anything, even if it's damaging to them. And gambling, it's not just damaging to kids, it's damaging to everyone, and it was very damaging to Celeste. Gambling was Celeste's way of life and her only method for her dream. She likely didn't feel she was good at anything else, and even with crushing all those gambling dens, she was still so far from her goal. Realistically, she probably could have made it in gambling if she was smart about it, but Celeste isn't actually smart, and she's extremely idealistic in unrealistic ways. This is evident through her childish dream of wanting a castle and all these vampire butlers. It's so childish, in fact, that in summer camp the kids actually like her for her refusal to grow up in that regard. In fact, like those kids, Celeste's relationship with her parents probably isn't good. And I say that because she's a child that gambles, and either they're okay with it or they're not part of her life. They may actually be dead as well. And it's clear that she's not actually happy with them or their lifestyle, and she hates her own name, and she hates being a commoner in general, and she hates being born into a commoner's life. In fact, she's so far from her parents that her hostage isn't even an actual person, it's a cat. In fact, if you look at the pictures that she's in, she doesn't actually seem to be close to anyone. The closest she seems to be is when she is attacking Hifumi in one of the first ones you see. And in fact, it's actually pretty sad. She didn't seem to have actually made friends. The few interactions you'll see is that one of her attacking Hifumi, and there's also one that he seems to be uncomfortable when Junko's talking to her, and you can see that she's not actually one to develop proper bonds. And in her FTE, she practically talks about Makoto becoming her slave, and it's not really one that makes it seem like she's particularly good with having friends. And I think what alienates her is that she's so obsessed with the idea of royalty and being important. In fact, someone pointed out that her execution at first lets her have a kind of medieval execution and death, and then it's actually switched to a modern one and a really common one, getting hit by a truck, and that's actually very ironic and well thought out. It's actually very clever that they did that, and she was given a commoner's death. But something she actually did get to do, and something that was actually meaningful, was her final act. And even though she didn't believe in the hope, which is why she was so easily willing to give up those 9 lives left in the killing game that weren't her, she still gave them the key, and it's because she decided to respect the hope. And in the end, that actually saved Makoto. In the end, it actually did amount to something, and that was what became meaningful, because she ended up doing something good, and it worked towards something, and it's quite possible that that was her first good, non-selfish act in her life. She did something that would only help people other than herself. I tried to get this one out quicker than the Maki one, and I hope that you still enjoyed it. I also hope that you'll leave some feedback and let me know what else you'd like to see from me. I currently have a few videos planned, including the one about Morgana that I mentioned last video, and I also want to make one comparing Kaito and Kokichi. I hope to get them out over the next few days. But for now, thanks for watching and I hope you have a great day.